17th of April 2018, FMP Pitch.
Hi, my name is Zahra Shabir, and here's my project for FMP. It's called Not the Person You Know. And it goes like this. It's 2D horror themed animated short, and it's about two teenagers. One a guy called Liam and one girl called Zoe. They basically meet up to explore an abandoned hospital near to the hometown. Just for the thrill of it, basically. So once they meet outside there to during sunset, they find another girl who happens to go to their school. They ask her to join in, and so they just decide to walk there to the site, and then that's when the horror begins to escalate. Basically, when they walk in, the doors kind of shut off by themselves, and unfortunately there's no power there, so it's pretty dark. But apparently when they go exploring for a bit, Rosie, the third girl, goes missing. They try to look for her, couldn't find her, so and instead they hear a scream from a room. They go in there and they find some dead guy in bed. So they got really panicky, so in terror they run to another room. They find even more. Found more horrible stuff there, so for the jaws, for the body parts and stuff like that. Then once they again become really anxious and panicky even more, just escalates, and then in a blind panic they run to another room, which is the operating theatre, where they find Rosie, who some bloodied clothing, and Liam tries to comfort her, but she stabs him in the back. So stabs him back. Then she goes for Zoe herself. Apparently the door gets locked shut again, so she can't get out, she can't escape. So no one else to receive her as a terrified face as the killer girl tries to approach her. Then it cuts to black. Okay, here are the characters. Okay, our main character is a guy called Liam. He's like an average teenage guy who loves exploring, he loves going on days, things like that, and this is why he decided to explore the abandoned hospital. And our secondary character is Zoe, who's like kind of like his friend. She's kind of like the opposite of him. She's pretty much a scaredy cat, but she kind of admires his personality, and she kind of gets convinced by him to like join his adventures. And the third girl is Rosie. She's like a shy, quiet kind of girl who looks pretty innocent, but there's a catch with her. She's not. So that's what the other two characters let to find out later on. She reveals that she's the killer. Okay. The way I'm gonna do this is by it's in a form of digital 2D animation. So first of all, I'm going to digitally illustrate everything. bamboo pad. So like on freehand, make sure everything the alignment's done correctly. So in the first few scenes, I'll do the line work, then I'm going to animate it just to see like test run, see how it turns out. After that, I'll move on to Photoshop and start colouring, adding more detail into, especially like the dark lighting and like the characters' clothing and the colours, the characters and stuff like that to make it more unique. And once that's done, once that's done, it's going to be put together in After Effects and animated into like storyboard animation. So everything goes nicely, like scene by scene. What inspired me? I've seen a lot of horror movies, and a couple that inspired me. The first one was The Shining, especially with the case of having like having a certain character who's like a family kind of man, but after that he goes into part of damn insanity and stuff gets really crazy from there. My second inspiration was Silence of the Lambs, especially the character Hannibal Lecter, because of his characteristics, personality, and yeah. After looking at similar examples, which are two animated series based around haunted buildings, things like that. That's where like my product is kind of sort of similar to that, especially teenagers going to abandoned buildings and stuff like that. So I decided to like use like I analyze these and use these as kind of like examples to see how I can improve it, especially with like the horror theme elements like lighting and effects and most of all like I looked at the cliches of horror movies. I can add them as a form of comedy, because looking at back at my research, my questionnaire, I found that a lot of people wanted a bit of comedy and like 2D in their preferences of 2D animation. So I could add that as well, like false gaze as a joke, and maybe add breaking the fourth wall. Add up the characters as self-aware and then talk to the screen and that in this sort of way, like, oh look, it's a stock, let's just go explore somewhere. Yeah. Okay, going back to my research findings. So for my primary research, I did a questionnaire where I asked people about their preferences and the horror genre, and I did another questionnaire on what people enjoy the elements of 2D animation. And what I found out is a lot of helpful information. Like for the horror one, I found a lot of people like slashers and gory kind of films, and they sort of enjoy a blend of suspense and violence. So I can add up both of those. And I mentioned before, like the 2D animation one, I found a lot of people wanted a good narrative in it. So this could tie back to my horror, where I could add like a suspensive plot twist and narrative to make it more interesting and like catch the viewers off guard. I did market research on the system product. I extensively studied the horror genre, mainly the cliche settings, narrative, cinematography, music and sound effects, to show how they all come together to create something that's really effective towards audience, and how get different kinds of movies that like experiment and like blend with like common trends and basically cliches, like overused ones that are like kind of make the moods kind of stale. Yeah,
That's right. Do you want to move to the next slide?
My target audience is, my main primary target is 18 to 25 year olds. Yeah, basically both genders equally. And the demographics is based on like people that are C2E, like employed, to like down to all the way down to students. Because obviously students are going to be more likely to watch a product that's put on online compared to most people who like work. And I'm justifying my audience because like it's like 18 25 years, because like most horror movies are kind of like 15 to 18 rated. So yeah, so otherwise I can't put it lower than that because I can't let some teenager or some kid watch a real movie. The secondary audience is 26 to 45 year olds. Basically both genders, demographics based on age to see that. Oh, sorry about that. Just came out wrong. Demographic, psychographics and succeeders, strugglers, and students. Last but not least, tertiary audience is anyone over the age of 45. Demographics is ATE, like everyone basically. Anyone like all the way up to like high rankers, students, and unemployed as well. And psychopaths around like design, performers, and explorers. These are most people that are like that are basically like they don't work anymore, or like performers. Anyone that's like kind of things in life, and explorers who are like open to explore new products and so on. My resources include Mac with Adobe Creative Suite, mainly Illustrator, After Effects and Photoshop. Like I mentioned before, Illustrator is without the liner, so it's all refined and basically looks pretty good visually. And for Photoshop, it's like the colouring, adding like shadow, like add like a 3D effect to it, like shadows, lighting. This could emphasise on like certain characters and things like that as well, and After Effects for the animation part. And for and my other resources are various. So I'm going to cast three main voice actors to voice my 3 characters. Otherwise, because these are vital for animation generally. You can't just have silent animation, just music running. You can't be that great. Yeah, basically. If I can't find that many, I might pitch in and voice for one of them myself. Thank you for your questions.
Well done, Zara. Okay.
Really like the concept,
I do.
storyline.
Really like the storyline.
My concern, Zara, is what we'll see what we've seen in previous projects, and that it will be too big. Do you think it's going to be too big for you to animate all of that?
Yeah.
I agree. I put how many rooms are there going to be to explore? Because you said that then they're going to go off exploring, and in my head I'm thinking that's another location you've got to draw, then another location.
What you can actually do for those scenes where they go exploring, you could just have them in a corridor and use that thing repeatedly.
Completely.
Exploring is just corridors.
Yeah, because last year it was a lot bigger than this, so you are learning to condense. We're getting there. But I think from Unit 12, think how small that was and how long it took. But there was some quality there, wasn't there? So definitely here. I wondered whether there was even a need for the 3rd character until the story went on, and then I realised, well, there was a need for the 3rd character.
Yeah, she's the
killer. She's the key, yeah, and she's key to the story, which is fine. So I think if you're going to have 3 characters, obviously that's 3 characters you've got to design, cut down the location, because you've got to draw the abandoned hospital, then they've got to go in, then you've got to have the room they first go in and it's all dark.
Yeah.
We've got the theatre room, the corridor, another room if they're going to... So I think you just need to think, do they need to be going around?
Because remember what we did, and we broke it down, we broke the narrative down into sentences, and we ended up with something like 15
Scenes, yeah.
Is 15 achievable, or do we need to cut it down even
More.
further?
I think 15 is achievable,
Yeah? You know the bamboo pad, because previously you haven't got on with the bamboo pad. Are you feeling a bit more comfortable with that now?
yeah. Yeah, comfortable with that.
Okay, good, just because you mentioned it and I thought, I swear you hated that last year, but if you're more comfortable with that, then that's absolutely fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Another question is, you talked about like breaking the fourth wall and that kind of thing. Is that possible to do that in 2D animation? You can break the fourth wall in 2D animation?
Yeah. I've seen animated cartoons and everything of it, and the comedy ones where they kind of make the fourth wall, like it's a joke. Jokes about
The comedy element kind of surprised me because you kind of contradicted yourself, because you said that you was going to make this horror thriller,
Quite dark.
which was quite dark and aimed at a 15 to 18, well, an 18 audience, but age rating 15. But then by bringing the element of comedy, unless the gore is still there in that comedic element, I'm finding it a bit confusing why you bring in comedy.
I probably wouldn't. Because
I wouldn't either.
I don't think you've mentioned the comedy at any point, kind of up until this point.
I kind of feel badly later on, so.
Just because, I mean, even a questionnaire, people said they like an element of comedy. I mean, maybe you could have a character that has a good sense of humour. I don't think you need to completely change the genre.
Yeah, and you don't need to kind of cater to everyone's
Yeah.
needs.
Otherwise, your product would be very mismatched.
Yeah.
I think you should stick to out and out horror, because your Unit 12 was about, you know, sword fighting and all that kind of
That's more
action.
Yeah, fantasy.
Yeah, I just think you need to stick to one genre and do it really, really well, because if you're trying to make a 15, I'm expecting some blood and gore and, you know, when she stabs him in the back, I'm expecting to see the knife.
It's a bit like what we said before about you kind of setting yourself too much of a task. Don't do comedy horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stick to one.
How are you going to go about casting those voice actors? Because they're going to be really significant, aren't they, to the end product?
I'm going to go on Mandy and have a look at those. Like, get a script out first, then like ask them if they would like to contribute in it. Yeah.
Okay. And what type of costumes are the characters going to be wearing? Because you mentioned that your audience was 18, but then one of the characters, they would have known them from school, and I just wondered whether it could be, did it have to be school? Is that not bringing down the target audience, or is that? I know, I'm just asking. I'm just generally asking.
Yeah, I thought about just making them like average teenagers and wearing t-shirts, stuff like that, and like average clothing. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Because we don't necessarily need to know the backstory.
No. I know you told us that, but I don't think it's really
I
significant.
think we as an audience, we should just be able to see that they are two friends who have met up.
Yeah.
We don't need that explained.
We don't like, oh, it's Rosie from school.
Yeah.
Like,
hi, I've known you for 10 years.
I don't think you need that element. No. The only thing I put down is just keep it gory, because I think that was the kind of thing that I took from it. I really liked the idea, and as soon as you mentioned comedy, I was a bit like, oh.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to an out and out horror fest in the band.
Yeah.
Which is good. Timing is just going to be key for you, Zara, okay, because the deadline is non-negotiable, so we have to meet that deadline. So, I mean, the only really thing you need to worry about is casting those actors. Other than that, it's that bamboo pad needs to be your best friend, and you just need to get drawing. And maybe obviously when you hand in your contingency task to us, perhaps a contingency synopsis, if you do need to cut that down, because you didn't mention time. Did I miss that?
Oh no, you didn't mention time. I missed that. Sorry.
So how long is?
Oh, sorry about that. And it's going to be like between 2 to 5 minutes long, like between that, because I can't really hide it, otherwise it takes very much of that. So
Yeah, I think 2 to 3 minutes
2
is
to 3 minutes.
fine.
Yeah.
Just break it down to that, because 5 minutes animation. I mean, how long was your animation that you produced for FNP last year?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, yeah. And how long did it take? And you've only got 1 week extra than you had last year. Okay. So, how long was one you did for Unit 12?
12. I remember now.
Little experiments, wasn't it? But
They were like 7 seconds, 8 second little clips.
and that takes a long time. It would not be an issue for you to produce a 30-second to 1 minute animation. I think trying to, you know, teams of people work on animation.
Yeah.
You're a one-man, you know, one-girl team. So I'd definitely rather have something a lot smaller.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about that duration and just stick to that in your head that that is what you're making.
I just think with this, but like compared to your FMP last year and your Unit 12, you kind of got the production methods and you've got the animation techniques down. What we now need to see is a bit of story.
Yes.
Okay.
Completely.
Yeah.
But you can deliver a story in a
Yeah,
short amount of time.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got the technique. Completely
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. We need a bit of speed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Well done.